my watch, I don't got the time, cause when it comes to me and you, girl, our time is priceless. There's no need for hesitation when you're striving. I wanna show appreciation, so I buy it, go try it. Girl, if you like it, but you still say that you're cool when Nike is the type that's quite rare, one of a kind, and do anything I can to please my highness, yeah. Don't worry about the time, go and live it like this, I got it good. You the best I ever had, baby.
What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? How's everybody doing? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Hey, Portia. Hey, Latasha. I know you can't, Porsche. I know you cannot. Tasha, you know I'm going to talk about that name. How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, listen, I wanted to just come to you. Some time ago, I did a teaching on love, and I'm just gonna hang with y'all for a few minutes tonight. I really want to just deal with something a little bit outside of the box, not necessarily about purpose or design, or I don't want to theoretically talk to you or anything of that nature. But I just want to more so talk about something that we all need, that we all desire, and then yet something that we don't understand, and the purity of it, and how much you can benefit from it. Love, man. So let's talk, and I want your feedback. I want you to talk to me. Tell me what you think about love. Tell me, ask me questions about love. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to deal with certain particular issues concerning love that people typically have, and how the issues came to pass. And more so, what can we do to rectify the situation so that we can love again, so we can love, experience a balanced love, experience some of the greatest love. This is not going to be necessarily a theological premise concerning love, but I just want to really deal with the philosophical aspect of love, the history of love, and then I want to talk to you. I want you to ask me. So Portia says, I want it, but I don't know how to embrace it. Bishop Christopher Sermons, my bro, what's up, man? Love you, dude. I want it, but I don't know how to embrace it. Some of the reasons why, Portia, we want love is because the idea of love that we have been taught is a very pure love. Let me say this. We are pre-wired for love. When God created you in the image of himself, he created you in love. He created you with love. He created you somewhat intrinsically in tune with love. Some of the reasons why we have trouble dealing with love is because that which we have been pre-wired to experience when it concerns love, and I want to make this very clear, because God is love and we're created in his image, we are created pre-wired for it. But the problem is, many of us have seen love distorted. We've experienced love distorted. We've been hurt by those who say that they love us. And those who say that they love us somehow did not deliver the full the full expression of what love should be. Now, those of y'all who don't know me, I'm a very holistic person. All right. I'll listen to my R&B. I'll listen to gospel. I'll listen to all of that. I listen to jazz. Those of y'all who witnessed me upon the years, you know, that I am always into a multiplicity of expression. Hey, Ambi. But the reality is this. Most of us don't know what love looks like, because those who have told us that they love us has displayed a very broken aspect of love, because the love that they've experienced has been tied to pain. And some of the reasons why I had a call come through, I'm sorry. But so people have tried to love us from a broken place. Many people have been hurt either by their mothers, their fathers, who they expected love to be delivered from. But because they've been broken, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. Let me put it on do not disturb. Well, it's supposed to be do not disturb love. Another reason why love is such a hard concept is because the people who have said in relationship aspect, let's say this, in relationship aspect, those who have said that they loved us have only wanted sex from us. Now, this is going to be those of y'all who know me know that I'm a very raw and uncut kind of guy, so I'm gonna try my best to keep this real tailored, all right? Keep this PG-13, all right? But people have wanted love, or people have said that they desire to love, but really they wanted sex. Really they wanted pleasure. Now, don't get me wrong. Sex should be a very firm expression of love, okay? But there's 5 different types of love. Historically, you have what they call eros, okay? Eros is the Greek word that is not necessarily used in the New Testament term of love, but it means sexual love. And it's probably derived from the mythological god of love from the Greek terms. So this love that we have, that we have tried to discern and experience has been sometimes delivered through eros, which is a form of love, but it is not the love that we desire, because love makes you whole. You understand? Love is the ultimate healer. It's the ultimate harmonizer. So how do you embrace love? The greatest way for you to embrace love is for you to learn that love is knowledge. Love is knowledge. Love is when I know you beyond you. I know you as you. And I choose to embrace, to love and experience all of you. Which means I'm not turned off by your attitudes, because I discern your attitudes, and your love or your attitudes is from a very hurt place. So love is this. I heard Charles Fillmore say this, that love is like the sun. Okay? Love is like the sun. Love has this component that it shines regardless of what you do to it. Love is not depending on how you love me. Love is not depending on who you love. Love is not depending on what they love about you. Love is not depending on what you want from a person. But love is something that is on the inside of you that chooses to shine. And love is this harmonizing factor. It's a healing factor. I love you because I want you to feel what love really feels like. I love you Because first of all, I love myself. I love myself. I love all of me. And I did not learn this until later on, because I had leaders who really made me feel bad about myself, you know, especially in the church. I'm going to say this light, y'all, this light behind me is killing me. But I've had leaders who tried to make us feel incomplete because of certain infirmities or sins or broken states. And we have to realize this, that you, as much as you are divine, you're still this. And as long as you are experiencing this world, you are going to encounter certain levels of discomfort. You're going to encounter certain levels of fear, and certain levels of discontinuation, and certain levels of brokenness, and certain levels of disappointment. But love is one of those things that causes us to desire to give you love, knowing that your brokenness will be healed by my love. I choose to love you. I choose to love you. Portia, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's not the flesh, but it's literally the body that we live in. It's the level of comprehension. And when we're taught this world's concept of thinking, sometimes it hurts and it causes us to have a distorted way of emotional upbringing. So when we start loving through emotions, guess what? You'll never experience a real love. Like I said, love is knowledge. You cannot unknow a person. You know what I'm saying? You cannot unknow a person. For me, I'm going to say this. I love people so much that I want to know the reason why you're hurting. I want to know what happened to you in your life. There are so many people who are on this feed who have been expressions and have felt my expressions of love. That in spite of your failures, in spite of your brokenness, I love you because I want you to feel whole. I want you to realize who you are, what you're created to be, the energy around you, what's inside of you. You are pure. You know, you are accepted. And just because people don't accept you, don't mean that there's something wrong with you. That just means that their discernment and their perception is off, so much so that they cannot accept all of you. And half of the reason why they can't accept all of you is because you have not accepted all of you. When I started embracing that I had a high sex drive, and I'm just being transparent here. When I started embracing that I have a high sex drive, when I started embracing that I have a bad mouth at times, when I started expressing that I was a cuss, when I started to express, guess what? I loved myself. I was like, oh my God, everything that I am to people, the things that people value about me, it was not for those experiences. So I started loving those experiences. I started loving the transgression that I commit, quote unquote, against people. Because I realized that this life is about learning. This life is about development. So how you express and how do you embrace yourself? When you embrace yourself, you will literally embrace love. Okay? And you'll make a decision. You'll make a conscious decision that no one can change me. And so I'm not going to feel inferior. I just made a post a minute ago. Don't allow the words of people to distort you in such a way and put you in a place of misery, so much so that it creates an off balance and creates a conflict within yourself. And now you're busy trying to satisfy people because of what people have said about you. Listen, People are fickle. People are broken. And life will do that to you. And I cannot allow the broken concepts of someone, the broken mindsets or comprehensions or perceptions of someone to make me feel less about myself. I love me because who I am is a processional person. I am in process, and I'm going to always be in process until the day I die. And so when I embraced that life is for learning and living, then I embraced that love is worth expressing. All right? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Let me look at this. Let me look at what y'all saying to me. And let me tell you something. I saw somebody say something about date nights. Don't wait to be in a relationship to have date nights. Uh-oh. Date yourself. Date yourself. Go out and enjoy yourself. Those of you all who don't know me, I have this thing now where I smoke cigars sometimes. I smoke Cuban cigars, you know, and sometimes I smoke them because it is a sense of relaxation, and I do it for the sense of thinking and all of that stuff. And of course, if I let church folks tell me something, they gonna tell me, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that and stuff like that. Well, that's because they don't know what cigars do. They don't know anything about cigars. You know, cigars sometimes it's a sport amongst millionaires. And I sit sometimes with millionaires and smoke cigars. You know, those of y'all who don't know, like this right here, this is a cigar. All right. And I have smoked cigars for the sense of thinking. When I'm in deep thought, sometimes I'll take a cigar and I'll go ahead and smoke a cigar, and I'll just process thinking. If people don't understand this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? They'll sit there and condemn you because their ignorance is blinding them from embracing you. My boy Nicholas is on here. He says, I love cigars, bro. I smoke them every day. Lithium based and not nicotine, which means they're not addictive. You're not supposed to inhale a cigar. It's a sport. You're not supposed to inhale a cigar. So, you know, like I said, people will make you feel some type of way if you let them. But loving yourself is not giving. Loving yourself is the access and the denial to not let people make you feel less for who you are when you know who you are. Remember, is knowledge. What else? Anybody, tell me what you got on your mind. Ask me any questions. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Now, don't be shy. Don't be shy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk as y'all ask me these questions. I want y'all to ask me questions because I want to give you some holistic thoughts that's going to give you. Now, listen. There are 4 levels of love, and that's actually 5, really. But you have eros, which is the sexual love. You have storge, which is the love that signifies natural affection between kinfolks. It's the love that you have for family. It's the love that you have for mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers. And then you have philios, which of course is the brotherly love. It's the affection that is more than a feeling. It's more than a reason. This has to deal with a friendly love. So let me stop here. I see a question. Why church going people are so hateful? Good question. And I'm going to tell you the most intelligent answer I can give you. The reason why church folks are so hateful is because subconsciously we're taught self-hate. I'm going to tell you the reason why. And there are some people who will not agree with me. That's fine. But whenever you're taught in church that you are a sinner, which is this concept that you are broken, and God never called you a sinner. God never called you a failure. God never called you anything of that nature. As a matter of fact, if you tell me where Jesus called you a sinner, if you tell me where Jesus called you broken, if you tell me where Jesus said it, then I'll embrace it. But the reality is, the reason why church people are so hateful, and it's not just church people, honestly, but it's most seen in church because church is really supposed to be loving. And so when the expectation is not met of love and we see hate, we see that so much because when amongst humanity, we expect people to be fickle. We expect them to be broken. But in church, we expect people to be whole. We expect them to be loving. We expect them to be, and we don't give them the permission to be broken. So the reality is, people are hateful because they don't like themselves. They don't like this life. And the main reason why is because we're taught self-love. Ever since you were a child, you've heard broken concepts and broken thoughts about yourself. So you've adapted this level of self-consciousness, this level of self-hatred, this level of self-condemnation. And this is the reason why Paul spends so much time trying to teach you that there's no self-condemnation within Christ, that you have the mind of Christ, that greater is he that is in you that is in the world. He's trying to teach you how to love yourself, because loving yourself will teach you how to love people. Again, it goes back to what I said. If you love yourself, you have no choice but to love others, because the love in you will do nothing more than shine out of you, because it's like the sun. It has no choice but to shine. Okay? Does that answer your question? That answer your question? Please let me know. Anybody else? Questions? I want to answer them. I want to be there for you. Tonight is a little different. I want this to be a Q&A kind of night. So let me do this also. Love is this very strong aspect. Love is a restorer. And when you love someone, man, you don't care about their faults. You don't care about their failures. As a matter of fact, I'm going to teach you something. The greatest definition for love I found with Charles Fillmore, and it's found in a book called The Revealing Word. Okay? You can Google it. You can find it. And my wife is online, actually. Love is restorer. Love will cause you never see faults. As a matter of fact, the true level of love, it refuses to see failures. The true level of love, it makes a choice that all I want to see is the good in you. All I want to see is the good come out of you. So true levels of love will always cause somebody to pull the greatness out of you, and it will never cause them to see the failures in you. When you love somebody, you refuse to see their faults. And that's the main reason why, man, most people who come around me, they feel loved. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because I don't give a damn what you do. That's not my concern. Not only that, but I am a lover at heart. And I realize the only reason why, and if I could be very transparent, in relationships we found brokenness. And the only reason why we've created brokenness in relationships is because we are taught to expect something from people that may not be in them to give. Have you considered that? How is it that we can expect people to be loving when they come from broken homes? How is it that we can expect men to be proper husbands and they have never had a man in their life? We live in a fatherless generation. I mean, think about this. It's not an excuse. It's not a justification. It's a reality that you cannot give what's not in you to give. But love is something that's already in you. That's the reason why so many desire it so strongly. People desire love so strongly because it's in them to have it. It's in them to demand it. It's in them to want it. But what we're not taught to love people in spite of their brokenness. And so people cannot give what they've never been taught to give. And some people need to be taught to love. So I can't expect a woman or my wife to love me the way I desire to be loved, because she does not know the same level of love that I may know. So it's up to me to engage in conversation with her and or you or with other people. It's up to you to engage. That's the reason why communication is so pivotal. Because in communication, iron sharpens iron. We learn how to love by the relationships that we have with other people. Do we get that? So I refuse, when you learn real love, you refuse to see the faults because you only want to see the best come out of that person. That's why God's love, this last love, agape, is so powerful, because agape is this love that covers a multitude of sin. That's what true love is. Love refuses to see the failure in others, because love covers your faults. I don't want to see it. God doesn't want to see it. Listen, Hebrews chapter 10, I think roughly around verse 14 or verse 16, between 14 and 16, he says in love. Now this is love expression. He says, I've given my son. And then he says, and for my own sake. I don't want to see, I don't remember, I don't want to think about your iniquities or your sins anymore. I don't even remember them. I don't even think about them. You have to have that type of love. And when you embrace yourself and you realize that you are a mess and that you're in development, you're in the process of becoming a better person daily, then you will give permission to other people to have failure, to have process, to make mistakes. I was listening to a couple today, and they were saying that just like you want the pardon, you want people to pardon you for your failures. When you don't do everything right, you want people to sit there and say, it's okay. It's okay. I still love you. What did you learn from this? How do we get past this? How do we go from here? And so the reality is the same. This is the reason why God says at the same level that you desire, that's the same level that you must meet. So you'll learn, the law of attraction teaches us when you give love, the same energy that you give out, the same level you give back. And so because I choose to love people, guess what? I receive love from people. I have yet to find people who do not, there's people who don't like you for whatever reason. But guess what? The people who you attract, they will be attracted to your inner circle because of the level of love that you have for yourself. And so love is the key element to livelihood. The world would be healed with one word: love. In the church, we would never talk about homosexuals or even condemn them if we knew how to love. If we realized that your lies are no different from their quote unquote sins. And when does sexuality become a sin? No, it doesn't. Hear me when I say this. Right there. Because you have to realize this. When it concerns love, man, love has this thing about it, that I don't care what you do. I'm worried about who you are. And I want to see the best of you come out of you. So your actions, and when you learn to love people, you realize even with yourself, your actions don't make you who you are. Your character does. And so love is this thing that says, I'm determined to help build your character so that you can become a greater person, so that you can love what you see. That's what love is, man. The sun, watch this, the sun never stops shining. So even when it's dark here, like right now, I'm in the state of Texas, I'm in the city of Houston, it's dark here. right? It's dark. It's dark. But the moon is still lit. Why is the moon lit? The moon doesn't have light. The moon doesn't have gas. It doesn't burn with fire. The only reason why the moon is lit is because the sun is shining somewhere and it's reflecting off of the moon and giving us a lesser light. Ooh, revelation. Even when love is seeming to be lesser, it's still shining. And it's shining somewhere. So sometimes you experience in life seasons of darkness and seasons of daytime. Okay? But even in the darkness, love is still present. You may not see it because it's dark. It's a dark season. But you have to discern that the love is still there. That's the reason why you can still find your way, vacillate your way, maneuver your way in the darkness somehow. Because love is still there. That's the reason why some of y'all, even when you've gone through bad relationships, you sit there and say, you know what? I still want relationships. I still want love. Why? Because even though there's a dark season, there's still a lesser level of love that makes you say, I want to experience more. I want to experience greater. Okay? So love is pivotal. It is a great asset to have. You understand? It's a great asset to respect and to give. I want you all to come to the place of maturity in your knowledge that you know that love is in you to give. And so your love should not be depending on what or who you love, what that person gives to you, but the love that is inside of you should be shown. And you should show it so much so that you desire to give it, not because you want it, but because people deserve it. Wow. I'll applaud myself on that one. Everybody deserves love. And just because they've never been taught it, it does not mean that they don't deserve it. And I'm at this place in my life where I am the change that people need. And so I'm not looking for change because I feel like I am the change. So when you're not looking for love and you realize that you are the love that you need, you will shine love abroad, never desiring it back. Don't get me wrong. There's something in you that wants it, yes. But what you want should never overpower what you're willing to give. Woo! Can I just say this? Damn, that was good. What you want should never overpower what you desire to give. I desire to love people more than I desire to be loved. I desire to be that light more than I desire to have light shined upon me. I desire to restore people more than I desire to be restored. Because I do realize this, that when I do restore people, I naturally will receive restoration for myself. There's something about a gift that when you deliver your gift to people and it blesses people, subconsciously somehow that love or that gift that you give blesses you in the same manner. There's many a times that I've delivered messages and blessed myself more than I've blessed people. There's a lot of times that I teach you all, and in the process of me teaching you, I've taught myself. Because God will start talking, he'll start dropping revelation that will make me see something in me that is greater than what I've saw before. Love. I desire to give love more than I desire to receive it. Because I realize I am the change. I was a part of a reformation at one time that the pivotal of what they meant was hope. And I've always said I'm a son of hope. Because I am the hope fulfilled for someone else. And I am the hope fulfilled for myself. I'm telling you now, you don't have to worry about receiving when you're too busy giving. Hands up. Don't shoot. When you're too busy loving, this is the reason why sometimes I don't feed into the negativity of social media and media propaganda. because it literally destroys the art of love. I respect Black Lives Matter. I stand for Black Lives Matter. But I'm too worried about all lives receiving love so that Black lives will never be a recipient of hatred if you're loving so bad, if you're loving so good, if you're loving so fluent. Give it. Give it and you're naturally going to receive it. I promise you that. It's a way of living. It's a way of life. And it's called the law of attraction. And bigger than the law of attraction, there's a law called the law of vibration. Love is the greatest energy that you could ever give. And you have to realize that you will naturally receive the same level of energy that you give out. And so when you give love, you'll naturally receive it. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because when you're too busy giving love, your mind is consumed with the thought of love. So even in someone's hatred, quote unquote, you'll still see the love in it. Hope this blessed you. I really do. Is there anybody else who has any questions? Is there anybody else who has any questions? As a matter of fact, what I want you all to do is I want you to start asking me questions throughout the week so that I can answer them when I get on these Facebook Lives. Okay? I believe that that will help all of us. People have questions and they need answers. They deserve answers. And if I can do anything, I want to be the man that answers it. I study so that I can answer questions. Even within myself. My studying is so that the answers can be answered within me. You understand? Well, hopefully this has been a help. And I want you all to ask me more questions because tomorrow is Saturday, so I'm not going to do a Facebook Live. I'll be back Monday. But I want you to ask me some questions. All throughout the weekend, ask me questions so that I can answer. And I'm going to answer them on Monday. All right? Love you all. And there's nothing you can do about it. Peace. Share this video. Share it. Share it. Peace.